Hey guys, it's Penny. So look at all this stuff on my board here, my table. So what happened is I took the weekend off from art and just spent it with a friend and just chilled. But my last working day, I came home in the morning after being at work all night, and I came home just kind of aggravated about something that went on, and I knew I wasn't going to get to sleep. So I sat down with my jelly plate and I got out some different types of papers this time to play with. And I played and played and played and played. I mean, I probably, where I normally would go to sleep by 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 at the very latest, I don't think I went to sleep till about 1 or 2. And 4 hours just went by like that. So I played with everything from newsprint paper to some already cut pieces of, I don't even know what this is, to be honest with you. It's not as thick as cardstock, but it's not as thin as copy paper either. But they were already like pre-cut, and I like having that little jelly plate because I can do some different things. I might end up going back and putting more on some of these. This one I did on the vellum, and I don't know if you can see the gold. I used gold and bronze in that, and oh my gosh, I love this one. I may end up, I don't know, I'm thinking about even framing this one. I love it so much. But these are the ones I'm showing you from this pile are the ones done on more opaque paper. This is, again, newsprint. Cheap stuff from a little sketching book. And I just went over and over and over it on my jelly plate with different things that I was doing. Just got lots of color. So I'm just going to be tearing these up and putting them in books as backgrounds. In this stack, well, let's pull these out. These I pulled out. I was just starting to rip this one up. These are pages out of an old book that I've kept around so I can use. I just like it as a background and collage material and that sort of thing. So I pulled these out. You can see this is what they were. And I started doing some jelly printing on these. And this one has a little bit of sheen to it. I think I mixed a metallic red, just a cheap craft paint, with maybe a couple other colors like orange and yellow. I can't remember exactly the formula. And did the same stencil on it, just in different directions with different colors. So these are like multi-processed. This one I went over the top of it with a gold stencil that I had. These, my trusty little gears, I do like those. And this was just colors. I think what I did is I was pulling off, I just got layer and layer and layer on that jelly plate. If you've done it before, you know what I'm talking about. And so I did one layer where, I don't know if you can see that. It's thick right here on the edge. This is the paints that were left on that jelly plate after going several times. Well, it pulled it all up. These edges got, these will come off, but it pulled it up as well as the colors that I had on there. And I just love the look of that. And I don't know if you can see it. There's some gold metallic just peeking out at different places on this. I think mainly on this side. And so these are just going to be terrific backgrounds. Now, some things I tried this time that were a little different is I had some black tissue paper from the Dollar Tree. I don't know if you can see these little confetti dots on it. And I wanted to use more tissue paper because I like the way you can mold it. Like when you glue it down, you can glue it nice and flat, or you can create wrinkles in it for texture on your page. It will do so much, and I like the feel of it when you're done. So I did a number of different applications on this, as well as using that stencil I had used previously with the gold paint. All on the jelly plate now. I loved it. This one just has a bunch of different things. I think I used probably half of this to do a couple of different types of stencils. I used 2 or 3. I mean, I'm seeing at least 3 or 4 stencils I used on this one. Not all at the same time. I mean, I keep these by my table, and as I'm going with a jelly plate and I'm putting on a new layer, I may put a stencil on and pull off a little bit, just lay it over and pull just a little bit off of that, and then another one and another one. And so it's a hodgepodge, but that's what I want for my backgrounds. And that's what I love. This one, I just kept going on this. It was crazy because there was a couple times I thought, I'm not going to use that. It's getting gross. And then I just kept going, and now I really like it. It's just lots and lots and lots of layers. So that's, I mean, that's a page by itself. I'd probably put this on a page, add a little quote or something to it that I liked, and call it a day. But these are all done on that confetti tissue paper. This one tore a little bit. Don't care. It's so cool. And with the gears on top, love these. They just turned out so neat. And little bits and pieces of the metallic. I got bronze metallic showing up in here, and a little bit of the gold. Now these are ones I did with, what is this? This is parchment paper. Just the Dollar Tree roll of parchment paper. Cut, you know, pulled it off, cut it in half, and made smaller squares. Not quite squares, more rectangle, but yeah, these are ones I did with that. Just lots of different stencils used. And I love how these turned out. They're all so different. So I'm keeping them on my table grouped in what type of paper they are. I may go back and decide I need to group them in color scheme. I don't know. But I just like to pull one and play. And so just kind of flipping through these. Now here's the next thing I did. This turned out really neat. Again, this is tissue from the Dollar Tree. It's plain white tissue on the back, and it has gold foil, confetti, I guess, imprinted on it on the front. And so that was my basis for a number of these. Now on this one, I kind of covered up a lot of that gold, but I don't know that you can see it on camera, but there's still gold flecks that peek in and out of between the paint on this one. This one I didn't do it all over. I just did, when I would lay a stencil on, I would go grab just a little bit of it off that stencil, just a small portion, and I did it several times. So more of the gold confetti shows, and that is really cool too. Here's another one that I did a little bit more background paint, but I used a metallic green and I believe a metallic gold in the background, and then different stencils applied on top. Now a lot of that gold, the confetti is still showing through. This one I did very little on top, just I think 3 little stencils. More of the white and more of the gold showing through. So I figured there was a place for all of it. This turned out really nice too. Yellow with a lot of greens and aquas on top, and even more of this gold confetti. I'll see if I can turn it where you can see it. More of the gold confetti showing through. More parchment paper. This is a big piece of black tissue paper that I did. And these are just some done on more parchment and tracing paper. I pulled these bigger pieces are pulled from my tracing paper pad. The smaller pieces are from the parchment paper roll I bought at Dollar Tree. This looks like newsprint, so I'll probably put it back over in that file. But I used a metallic bronze and I believe a little bit of the metallic red that I had on that. That turned out really pretty. More just, you know, pieces and bits that I'm going to pull little pieces from, probably to do collage work. All kinds of different colors, and that's got a lot of the metallics in it showing up too. That turned out pretty. So, yep, this is what I did. When you come home aggravated, just pull it out in art and have something wonderful to show for it. So I think what I'm going to do, I've got to go down for a nap to get ready to go into work tonight. But I'm just going to sit down and do a few background pages and let you watch me just put something together. And I probably won't finish the pages. And I might do that when I come back. Maybe before I post it and maybe in another video. But yeah, I'm going to see what I have going on here. And I really think I want to use one of these book pages that I had done. Let me see. I like so many of these. It's hard when you do them because you think about tearing up and using them, and I don't know, I'm getting a little squeamish. It's like, do I really want to tear that? I do like that. So I'm just picking out a couple of backgrounds that I think I like. And then I have these book pages too that I've considered trying out today. I could do that one. You know what? I'm not gonna let myself overthink this too much. Those I think would go kind of on the same page. So let's just play a minute. All right, so let me get the glue stick and just sit down and play with this thing. That's still pretty. I'm gonna hold on to it. always like to have my trusty credit card nearby. So we'll start that straight edge. Oh, here's the other thing I want to do. Is get right along the edge, because this is going to go down in my book crack. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? Book. I'm sorry, I have a dirty mind. And stick that down in there. Get it kind of where I want it. And just smooth it down. And this one's gonna, I am not gonna worry about making this pristine. I'm gonna let it hang off the edges. I want kind of a junk journal look to this. If you don't know what that is, go look that up. Let's keep it busy on YouTube for a while longer. Yeah, I really like that. And you can see where the paper got folded when I was doing the jelly printing. So it actually leaves a stripe. Well, you could do that on purpose. You know, take a piece of this paper and just kind of fold it a couple of ways, then jelly print over it, and then when you open it up, you have, you know, little streaks and things through it of the background paper, whatever it is you used. So that could be really cool. So I'm going to tear off just a piece of this. And I'm going to start this page. Just try some different stuff over here. You know how if you're not used to tearing paper, it's going to tear really good in one direction and not so good in the other. It's just the grain of the paper. And so this is, I'm tearing it probably against that grain because it's being a pain. So I think I'm going to stick that down. I don't know if I'm going to use it all. I need to loosen up a little bit. I'm not getting the edge that good. This is why I like to get it. Spend a little more time, because that part that goes down in the spine, I want it to be adhered really well. Okay. Let's see, maybe a piece that I cut off of this, I'll put down here. So I'm going to do something I don't normally do, is I usually do one and just keep going with that page. I'm going to flip the page and maybe a couple, because I like to glue a couple of pages together. Like I told you, to add stability, especially with these older books. And then I think I'm going to do some more here. You can use a ruler. I don't know why I have this little piece of wood here, but I'm going to, if you want a more straight tear, you could do that. And I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to make this go down in the seam, the book crack. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of fold it in half, crease it. Doesn't have to be perfect on either side. I don't care about that. But this just helps me get it down to where I'm going. And I realize I don't have enough glue, I don't think. It's a little taller than I thought. Have your credit card ready. Stick it down in there. There we go. One piece tore, that's okay. Make sure my corners are down. I think the others are. All right, and then I'm going to keep going with this. Wasn't exactly a straight tear, was it? I probably wasn't holding it down quite hard enough. Just do that one willy-nilly, see what I get. So one of my reasons behind doing this is I'm working 3 out of the next 4 days. So my time for art journaling is going to be slim, but there are days I come home, I go straight to bed, I wake up, and I don't really want to do anything much. Just sit around listening to music until time to get ready to go back. But sometimes I really do want to work in my journal, and but I don't have time to do everything from scratch. So if I go ahead and do this, it's kind of a jumping off point. Now I can draw over it, paint a figure over it. I can do whatever I want. Leave as much of this showing as I want. I'm not going to, you know. And here I'm not even going through picking out too much of. I'm trying to kind of stay in a color theme, but I'm not going crazy with it. So either of these would fit in there. So let's do some more. Oh. Let's see. So I really don't know what I'm going to be doing with these this week. I'm really doing more faces, either whimsical or, I don't know, just different styles of faces. Because I like that. It lets me practice different looks, different features, different expressions. Sometimes I just feel like expressing a particular thing, and that's what I do. Alright, I'm going against the grain on this tear, so it's getting a little more haphazard. So pretty though, I love this, the way this turned out. And I like having a little bit more. Let's see how I'm going to do that. I'll do it that way. I trust Yoo-Hoo glue stick, if you haven't been with me long. I like that, especially in this book. I tend to do more of that. Now, if I'm working on watercolor paper, I'll often use gel matte medium as a glue, especially with thinner papers. This works better with thicker papers. But in this book, I don't know, I found I've been using my Yoo-Hoo glue stick a little bit more. I likes it, what can I say? I'm getting so much glue on my fingers, everything's wanting to stick. All right, let's see, I'll put this one down here. I've really thought about making a book with just these papers, not really anything else, or maybe just the papers and quotes. That might be kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to mull that one over because they're so pretty on their own, and when I do them in this application, a lot of it gets covered up. But yet I love all the depth of colors, and so I'm really, really thinking about doing just a book on this. I need to go find me a couple more of these cute little old books that I like. I like the size of this one is so handy. I don't know if you can see, it's about, you know, about the size of my hand, top to bottom. So it just makes it handy to carry around with me. And if I pre-do pages like this, I'll stick this in a little, you know, backpack purse when I know I'm going to be out somewhere and I'm going to be sitting around waiting on somebody or something. Then this is a great little thing to take with me. I can sit there and I take a little pencil case. I'll show you that. My trusty little pencil case. The strap, I got it Tuesday morning a few weeks ago. This was in one of my videos. And I'll put markers and pencils and eraser in here and keep it with it. And then when I'm out and about and have a few minutes, it's not wasted. You know, I can sit there and do something I love. And because I'm not really a patient girl. I don't like just to sit around and do nothing and wait. I like to have a little something with me to do. So this is going to set me up for 2 or 3 days of that. this overlay a little bit. I think I'm gonna put something overlaying that side a little bit too. I don't like that straight edge too much. And you'll have to come back and see what I do with these later this week, because I do plan to work on them. Love all the metallic gold that I put into this last groupings of prints that I did. I really do. Just adds a nice touch. Oh, I like that. I don't know how much I'm going to let myself do to cover over it, because I like it so much as it is. So I'm going to skip it. So I've done two. That one. I'll probably put some kind of little figure over here so I don't cover over too much of this. Honestly, I may not do a whole lot of painting or anything over this, just because I love it just as it is as a collage. So I'm going to turn a couple pages and do something else. But I think, well, let me go on back here because I don't want to do there. Okay. I want to do a little bit more maybe around the edges and leave a bigger spot for like a face or something. So I'm trying to think how I want to do that. Okay, well, I've spent enough time thinking. It's just time to do, right? Don't kill ourselves overthinking. Now, sometimes I do work where I plan things out and I take my time, but then sometimes like this, I just want to work intuitively. I just want to, trust my gut. That, to me, that's what intuitive means. Just trusting your gut. Just use a color that pops into your head to use. Use a texture, a piece of paper, a paint, whatever just floats your boat. Just stick it down, and that's what I'm doing. Oh, I want to move that a little bit because the stuff that's oh, look at there, it's pulling off that page. I see. Not gonna worry about that. That makes kind of cool though, because then there'll be a peekaboo page behind that. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm gonna stick all this down just like it is. But I wanted to get that gold, which is why I pulled it up in the first place. Put it down here. Yeah, that doesn't bother me a lick. Not a lick. So I think that's going to do it. I need to go clean a little bit of this up and go rest for the night ahead. Let this dry. See if these others are dried enough to be not sticking together. So one page done. This is the one I need to put something in between. It's still too tacky. But that's the page I'm probably going to leave pretty much as is. And I've got some of this leftover parchment paper that I didn't print on yet, and I can put it between here and still use it again next time I do jelly prints, but it'll keep my pages from, sticking together too much. Okay. So this, I think this one has the most glue on it, so that may be the one I just leave. Leave open. Spread that out. There we go. Now nothing will stick together. I'm excited. I love having all these papers around to do this with. I really am going to get me a book where I just do this. I think that would be awesome. Maybe put a little quotes or something on top if I want, but just creating a book of collaged and printed papers, because I just love looking at them, and my journals are for me. And I hope yours are for you. So y'all have a wonderful day. Go have fun. Play. Spend some time with your family. Spend some time with yourself. And enjoy your creative outlet. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. That helps a lot. And subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I'd love to have you. And if you hit the bell, it will let you know when I put up new videos. And they're usually about 2 a week, at least. So thank you so much for joining me. Please leave comments. I love hearing from you and talking with you. Take care. Have a great day.